The medical bay of the Stellar Accord hummed with its usual sterile efficiency when Kira burst through the doors, carrying two small bundles of fur in her arms. The Velrosian cubs whimpered softly, their azure eyes wide with something the ship's medical officer had never seen before: pure, unfiltered terror. "Dr. Vorn." Kira's voice cracked with urgency. "Emergency! The cubs have been injured." Vorn's 6 manipulator limbs snapped to attention, his chitinous frame pivoting toward the commotion. As the Accord's chief medical officer, a Thaxian with over 40 cycles of combat medicine experience, he had seen everything from plasma burns to gravitational compression injuries, but nothing in his extensive career prepared him for what he witnessed next. The cubs trembled violently, their small bodies pressed against Kira's chest. Vorn's optical sensors detected elevated heart rates, rapid breathing, and stress hormones flooding their systems. His mandibles clicked in concern. What happened? Vorn deployed his medical scanners, running them over the first cub. Were they attacked? "I'm detecting massive psychological trauma." 1. Kira, the Accord's xenocultural liaison and one of only 3 humans aboard, looked genuinely confused. Attacked? No. They just participated in their first pillow fight. Vorn's entire body went rigid. Pillow? Fight? Yeah, with the human children in Rec Room 7. I thought it would be good socialization. Kira gently set the cubs on the examination table, where they huddled together, refusing to separate. Vorn immediately accessed his medical database, cross-referencing human customs. What he found made his respiratory spiracles flutter in disbelief. "Kira, according to my records, a pillow fight is a human recreational activity involving striking opponents with cushioned objects." "Right." Kira nodded, stroking one cub's head soothingly. "The kids were really gentle with them. I made sure." "Gentle?" Vorn's voice rose to a frequency that made nearby equipment vibrate. "Gentle? Do you have any idea what you've done?" Before Kira could respond, Commander Thelvax, a towering Kryn warrior, strode into the medical bay. His scales rippled with agitated colors. "I heard there was an incident involving the Velrosian cubs. They are under diplomatic protection. If they've been harmed, they participated in human battle training," Vorn interrupted, his tone grave. The room fell silent except for the soft whimpering of the cubs. "What?" Thelvax and Kira spoke simultaneously, though with vastly different inflections. Vorn pulled up a holographic display. "I've been studying human physiology and culture since we began this joint expedition. Humans are one of the few species to evolve as persistence predators on a death world. They engage in what they call play fighting, from infancy mock combat designed to train combat reflexes, pain tolerance, and aggressive responses." Kira opened her mouth to protest, but Vorn continued, his mandibles clicking rapidly with agitation. "These cubs," he gestured to the trembling pair, "come from Velros Prime, a garden world with 0.3 standard gravity and no natural predators larger than an insect. Their species has never known warfare. They evolved as herd grazers, and you subjected them to human juvenile combat protocols." "It's just hitting each other with pillows," Kira protested. "It's fun." "Fun?" Thelvax leaned down to examine the cubs, his warrior instincts recognizing the signs of psychological shock. "Human children engage in striking each other for entertainment? Well, when you put it like that." Kira trailed off. Vorn pulled up video footage from Rec Room 7. The display showed 6 human children, ranging from ages 5 to 10, engaged in what could only be described as organized chaos. They swung their pillows with surprising force, rolled across the floor after impacts, and most disturbingly, laughed while doing it. Then the Velrosian cubs appeared in the frame. The smallest human child, perhaps 6 years old, approached them with a pillow. Even pulling her strikes, the impact sent the first cub tumbling. The second cub had frozen in place. Evolutionary instinct, recognizing a predator attack, but having no framework for response. "Pause there," Vorn commanded. He zoomed in on the human child's face. Notice the expression? Humans call that a smile. It's a display of joy. She was happy while engaging in combat training with beings half her strength. Kira watched her species through alien eyes and, for the first time, felt a chill run down her spine. We were just playing. Humans play at violence the way Velrosians play at grooming, Vorn said, his tone softening slightly. The way Thaxians play at nest building. The way Kryn play at. Actually, Commander, what do Kryn children play at? Hunting formations and territorial displays, Thelvax admitted. Though we recognize these as preparation for adult survival skills. Them. Exactly, Vorn's limbs gestured emphatically. Every species' play reflects their evolutionary path. Humans evolved through warfare, hunting, and survival against predators that could kill them. Your games are battle training, whether you recognize them as such or not. One of the cubs finally spoke, its translator rendering the soft bleats into standard. The small human, she moved so fast. And her eyes, predator eyes, forward-facing. She was hunting us. Kira knelt down to the cub's level. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. We would never hurt you. Humans play rough, but we know when to stop. We know how to be gentle. Kira, you know how to suppress your violence. Vorn corrected. There's a difference. These cubs have no such instincts to suppress. They're herbivores from a paradise world who just survived what their hindbrains interpreted as a predator attack from children. Thelvax's scales shifted to a thoughtful purple. This explains much about human military effectiveness. If your children train for combat from the moment they can walk. We don't, Kira insisted. We play. We have fun. She paused, seeing herself through their eyes. Humans wrestling, boxing, martial arts classes for 5-year-olds, dodgeball, tag, capture the flag, every playground game, a simulation of hunting or warfare. By the ancestors, she whispered. We really are terrifying. Aren't we? Vorn administered a mild sedative to both cubs, their breathing finally beginning to slow. Not terrifying, Kira. Simply human. Number 4. Number 4. Number 4. Your capacity for controlled violence is what makes you such effective peacekeepers. But perhaps we need better protocols for introducing non-combatant species to human recreational activities. Agreed, Thelvax rumbled. I'll draft new guidelines for cross-species youth interactions. No human games without prior psychological evaluation of participants. Kira nodded, still looking shaken. I'll talk to the human families. Make sure they understand that what's normal for us is traumatic for others. As the medical bay returned to its usual calm, Vorn watched Kira gently stroke the sedated cubs. Humans, he reflected, were perhaps the galaxy's greatest paradox, capable of such tenderness, yet shaped by such violence that even their children's laughter on a battlefield of feathers could send other species fleeing in terror. Kira, he said softly, for what it's worth, your instinct to socialize the cubs was good. You simply forgot that humans define play very differently than most of the galaxy. She smiled sadly. Note to self, pillow fights are a human-only activity. Indeed, Vorn agreed. Though I suspect the cubs will have an interesting story to tell when they return home the day they survived combat training with human predator spawn and lived to speak of it. Despite everything, Kira laughed. It was a very human sound, equal parts joy and acknowledgement of absurdity. Vorn found himself grateful that humans had chosen to aim that terrifying capability toward protecting the galaxy rather than conquering it. After all, any species that could turn violence into play could certainly turn their strength into guardianship. They just needed to remember that not everyone found battle training quite so fun.